It was this girl and this guy that I once knew, a guy who grew up in the deepest parts of South Carolina and this girl who grew up in the country of West Virginia, and somehow through life circumstances and kind of coincidences, they were able to find one another, and they decided that they wanted to pack up and start life together in a new city, Buffalo, New York, my hometown, where I too would eventually grow to meet them for the first time. And at the time, they didn't know that them coming together would cause them to face trials of many kinds. They went through abortion and infertility. They went through the struggles of embarrassment and humiliation. It was times where they didn't trust one another, times when they felt like they had to lie to each other, times when they felt like other people were the better option. It was times when they would argue from nighttime until sunrise, times when they couldn't fall asleep thinking about the pain and the turmoil that they caused in one another. It was these times when they questioned who they are in each other, who they are in their life, in their career, and even in their family. I was lucky enough to know these people as my grandparents, who through 60 years were somehow able to keep and love and hold one another. And through my curiosity and confusion, I grew to ask my grandmother how she was able to stay with my grandfather for all of these years. And I never forget what she told me. She said, love. Love is what kept us together. It was the power of love that kept us together. And it's not the type of love that you have for your favorite basketball team. No, it's the type of love that inspires you to tell a friend to do the right thing. Tell a friend the right thing, even if it means jeopardizing a relationship with them. The type of love that keeps you at home when you felt like you should have walked out and stepped out. It's the type of love that would cause a heavenly Father to send his only son to die on a cross for people who would never even thank him. It's this type of love that kept them together. And through brokenness and unopenness that buried them in their own selfishness, somehow they were able to still find each other using this instrument of love. And I say all that to say this: too many of us have allowed the pressure of life to bury the power of love. And that's okay, because we're human and we live on an earth where an enemy wants to convince us that what's good is bad and what's bad is good. An enemy that wants to convince us that we don't have the power to overcome the struggles we face. An enemy that wants us to believe the lie we keep telling ourselves. And that's why our Father has compassion on us. He sees our struggles. He sees our pain. He sees the brokenness in our relationships. And he says, I love you and I have compassion on you, and that there is a love that I put in you that is able to overcome anything that you face. There is nothing that can take control of this thing. Nothing and no one that cannot be overturned or changed in the pure ambiance of this thing. Nothing can hurt this thing. Nothing can jeopardize the integrity of this thing. Many of us right now are going through a tough patch in our relationships, maybe with our spouse, maybe with our job, maybe with a colleague or a friend. Maybe you're worried about if the relationship is going to work out. Maybe you're graduating and you're not sure where life is going to take you. Whatever it is, know this: you weren't designed to know. In fact, it was in the plan that you don't know. But God says, I know. He says, I know the plans that I have for you. Plans for good and not disaster. Plans to give you a hope and a future. God says, I died for you. I gave my life so that you can live and you can be free. I don't care what you did. Well, Lord, I'm addicted to drugs and alcohol. My love can cure anything. Well, Father, I cheated. I wasn't faithful in my marriage. I cheated on my boyfriend and girlfriend. There's mercy for every season. Well, Father, I lost the people closest to me. They hurt me. I'll give you beauty for ashes. So what are you worried about today? The turmoil, the struggle in your family, in your relationship, maybe at home, whatever it is, know this: love conquers it all. And this great sort of style of living was taught to me by my grandmother and my grandfather. And unfortunately, my grandmother, she passed away a few months ago in her home due to some health complications and due to the turmoil, the pain of living without my grandmother. A few days later, my grandfather passed away as well, and we got to bury them together. What a love story. I wonder what God said to them as He showed them their life. The same story, but on two different channels. All of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the struggle was used to their good. And I pray the same for you. I pray, Father, that whoever is watching this, that they come to know your love. I pray that they realize that no struggle or sin can keep them from you. I pray that whatever brokenness they feel in their relationships would drown in the presence of your love. I pray that they choose love today. Help them to let go of the bitterness, the pridefulness, the selfishness. Maybe their father walked out on them, Lord. Maybe a friend lied to them. Maybe a partner was dishonest or unfaithful. Maybe they have a reason to be the way they are. Whatever it is, Father, let love overthrow them. Help this story to show them to choose love, even when love doesn't choose them. I pray these things for my friend. In Jesus' name, amen.
Grandma, Grammy, bless your soul. Tell me all the stories that you told when I was 8 years old. Cooking in the kitchen, breaking up the stove. You always forgave me for my sins. You always forgave me. Told me I'm amazing. That's how the Lord made me. Boy, keep your grades up. A lot of jealousy and anger. That's what the world's made of. Grandma can't save us.